Agnes und verlosene Weiblach in Stott haben die Zigeunerkes getroffen, als zwischen sie und ihre Männer steht oder a beise Brunetke oder a zuckersüße Blondinke. Okay. Yeah. So women who were really abandoned by their husbands are those that you don't know if the husband is alive or dead, and verlosen is something the same, like similar. They also abandoned.
No, I thought Farlozena is the idea of a woman who hasn't found her match, that they were left behind.
That's a Farzesene.
Ah, Farlozena. Very good, thank you.
Farzesene is from
Farzesene,
yeah,
right.
She's sitting. She's waiting. But Farlozene is somebody that was abandoned. Yeah. But Aguna is specifically somebody that you don't know if he's alive or dead, I think.
Yeah.
Or it can also be in a situation where a woman has not been given a get, and she becomes an aguna, and the husband will not give her the divorce, and she's in a terrible state.
Here I go again to something else. There was an Israeli author by the name of Agnon. He gave himself the name Agnon. That's from Aguna, that feeling of being abandoned, being in between something, like being abandoned in the world, something like that. Yeah,
I didn't know that that's where that came from. Yeah, that's his name.
That's his name. That's his name.
Yeah, but he took it for that. Yeah, between worlds.
That's the same. It's from the same root, agnon, aguna. Yeah. Okay. So the gypsy women were fortune telling to these women that between them and their husbands there is standing either an angry brunette or a sweet blonde, sweet like sugar. Yeah.
I can think also Beza can also mean evil. She's an evil brunette.
I think Beza is angry.
It's angry, but I think it's also the evil, like
maybe,
the evil eye, the evil eye. Anyway, it's bad. It's negative.
Bianca, Beza is angry or mean?
Yeah, but it also has the connotation of evil.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that is true.
Beza, okay. You don't want to get that, you want to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Und an Netze haben sie gegeben, euch zu kleppen eine Käve von Wachs, sie von schwarze Pech. Ob euer wachsene Figur abschmieren mit Fage. Euer Pechene abgießen mit Reuten, I don't know what it is.
Russell.
Okay. This word is covered here. Okay. So they gave them advice to create a female out of wax or out of some black peach. And if it's a figure made out of wax, to paint it with some substance.
With soot.
Okay.
Soot.
Okay. Oiba pechene, if it's made of with pitch, abgießen mit Reuten, whatever you said it is.
Russell.
I don't know what it is.
Russell,
Vinegar, I think.
Russell is a grated beetroot.
Uh-huh.
You are very often they make it into soup. A Russell soup is a grated beetroot in a soup.
I see. So
I
you
thought
know
it was
about
a vinegar, like, I thought it was vinegar.
And
That
there's
has-
vinegar in it as well. Yes.
Uh-huh. So it's
Sour.
with some sort of acidic, some acid.
Yeah.
With an acid.
Und stechen die Figur, this is like to make the, making the, her enemy, that woman that is standing between her and her husband. Yeah, and stechen die Figur, and then to prick that figure mit an ungelitten Schusterschen Knoll, to stick a cobbler's awl into it, ודי קונקורנט כאומקומן auf a schrecklichen Ofen, then the competition will actually die in a very in a terrible way. Okay. Seinen jüdische Herzen verzittert geworden von Asam Mittel. So Jewish hearts became scared of such a remedy. Es ist ein schwarz geworden vor die Augen von a solche dienerische Wörter. They became they had black, they saw like black spots in front of their eyes, hearing such it's idolatry words. The words that only idol worshippers talk like this. Getzen the narration, it's like the service of gets is really from the word gets idol. Haben sie gesehen, was Gicher Potter zu werden von die schwarze Eize Geberns und von sehr schwarze Eizes. So they wanted to try and get ready as fast as possible from those black advisors and from their black advice. Nur als die herausgetriebene seinen weg, hat man sich gemacht allemal gehabt, als etwas fällt in Stuhl. There you go. Yeah, only where was I? Old man sich gemacht allemal gehabt. Almost almost always they noticed that something was missing in the house. Bei Wemen a Punternitze mit Futter, bei Wemen a Schapesdicker Meschener leichter, bei Wemen a Blecherne Quod, a Hackmesser, a Käse, בכלל alles, was heeft sich on mit an Aleph.
I don't understand. Well, no.
Yeah, okay, okay.
I want to know why alles was hebt sich mit an Aleph.
Yeah, I want to know too. Yeah.
Okay, but first we'll translate the whole sentence.
Okay. So with one person, it was a holder of butter. Another one it was a candlestick made of brass. Another one, a metal
A picture.
picture.
water, yeah.
Okay, I think, yeah, okay.
Well,
A hackmesser, a chopping knife, a kez, a cheese. בכלל, generally, als was schreibt sich on mit an Aleph. I think that it's a joke.
Yes.
yeah, but what is the joke?
The joke is anything. What I think, he said anything that starts with an Aleph. It could start with any letter, anything that was there in the house for the taking.
No, you see, the joke is it's a hakmeser, a kez.
Okay.
I see. It's anything. It's anything.
Anything.
It could be
Okay.
this.
Yeah,
It could be
thank
a
you.
this, a
Thank you.
cheese,
Yeah.
a.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
And then, yeah, those habe ich nicht gehabt. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oben die abgenagte Weiber, doppelt verhakt die Türen und doppelt verketelt die Fenster. Und geschworen haben sie sich, als Tomer wird der Zihanke noch einmal der Wegen sich reinschmecken in Stub, wird man sie abluchen mit sodig Wasser. So the women who were fooled, they doubly closed the doors or locked the doors and doubly locked the windows, and they swore that if a gypsy woman dares coming again into the house, just come reinschmecken, if she dares step into the house, they will pour on her boiling water. Yeah, there's a lot of put downs to women here in the whole book. I don't like it. Und gewohnt haben sie die Schreinim sehre, als a Welt sagt, Zigeiner sind in Ganovim, soll man glauben. And they warned their neighbors that if the world says that gypsies are thieves, they should believe it.
Excuse me, can I ask what this word sihanke? Now,
which word?
Sihanke, the third
okay,
line in that paragraph. So that is the way they didn't say Zigeiner because of the Gimel and the Hay. They said,
I don't know, but the sons, the vaccine
Bora's sons,
they were calling their little sister Zipke, Tsihanke, the
same way.
They
also
those guys, they had big eyes. So like I said that I thought that they are from a mixed couple, those guys, and they too were pronouncing the Tsiganke, Tsihanke, and I think that those guys are gypsy. You know, they're a mix of Jewish and gypsy, which was not unusual at that time in those places. So I think that those, I think it's very directed that he said it before, that those two brothers are saying Tsihanke already, which shows that they are they too are of gypsy blood too.
Why? Because they say it that way? I mean,
They
because
say that
pronounce
way,
it-
they call it, they tell Tzipke, avec
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah,
Mhm.
Tsihanke, a few times,
Yeah.
2-3 times, Tsihanke, and yeah. So, and now, everybody in the Tsihanke, wait,
Yeah.
what am I
I
saying?
don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah. I don't know why it's called Sihanka rather than Sigaina. The only
Because
thing is, you know,
in German, I mean, in Russian you
Yeah.
don't
the hay and the gimel.
the gimel, the hey, you don't have an H
Yeah.
in Russian.
You don't have a hay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
oh,
think
okay.
that's what it is there. The
People-
hay and the gimel. But
People who
anyway,
Okay, then,
Okay.
regarding that, sorry, I'm digressing. Yanke, Gilad, that we were talking about, writes his name GH. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I think because the Gilad has a dagesh in it, and in order to show that it's a gimel with a dagesh in it, he writes it Gilad,
Really?
like a guttural Gilad.
I see. But see, but the way it's written, I would read it J, the GH.
all right, we'll go on. We'll
Okay.
go on here.
Okay. Okay, soll die Zigeunerkäse haben sich schon das mal mehr nicht bewiesen in die beganfete Häuser. So the gypsy women this time didn't show themselves in the houses where they stole. Sie haben
Didn't
gelassen
return.
euch.
Once they had been there, that was it. They took and they ran.
No, they're coming back. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, no, I know, but
Ja. Sie haben
this
gelassen euch.
particular.
Die haben gelassen euch so in dem weiberschen Kass von seiner Klientkes bis zum zweiten Mal. There you are. And they let the anger of the women, actually the feminine anger of their clients, those they yeah, till the next, until another time. Bis אפשר mit היור später, ותנייר תבוא ותבזוכן לשתות, until maybe a year later, and a new encampment will,
Yeah, a new group.
will visit the city. Von der langjährigen zigeunerischen Praktik haben sie gewusst, als die Neugierigkeit oder kurzen Sekunden. They knew that about this gypsy
Activity.
Practice. Activity, long time activity, they knew about it. That the curiosity has a short memory.
Yeah.
Und die dosige weiberische Neugierigkeit wird sich früher, später losen, abnarren noch einmal. See, they knew it, the gypsies, that the curiosity of those women will sooner or later, früher, später, sooner or later, will allow will allow itself to be deceived. One more time. אפשר noch grindlichen wie dem ersten Mal, maybe even in an easier way than in the first time.
Right.
Okay.
They're smart.
Somebody else.
Okay, Nechama, will you read? Because I need to just step out for a minute.
I'm happy to. Okay. Verkochte akashe. Okay. Verkocht akashe.
Yeah.
Cooked up a kasha. Der Zavelek, wo Moishike is aufgezogen geworden, haben die there it is again. Haben die Hankes euch nicht ausgemitten. So the Zavulik, where Moishike was raised, the Zigeiners also did not avoid, they didn't miss this place either. They were going, this also they visited here. Der erste Korbanseire, their first sacrifice in Zavelik is Gewein Zlate, Eruv Tapshilin.
It's not korban is sacrifice, but it's not sacrifice, it's victim.
Oh, victim. Okay, very good. The first victim, their first victim in Zavulik is Gewein Zlata, the Eru Tafshilin woman. We remember that story. And it's like at this point, Schneer he's bringing back these characters that we met before and reminding us of them. It's a long story, and now they're coming back. They're coming back.
Nechama, 1 second. Korban is korban it's in Tanakh, in the Torah. It's a sacrifice that they were bringing on Shavuot. They're bringing to
the Korban Pesach.
I think you're under the influence of Shavuot.
That's right.
But Korban in Hebrew is a victim.
Der Sein in Fensterl a Jidne mit der seidenen Tichel auf dem Kopf sitzt einer allein und macht den Sorg. Haben sie mit sehr zigeinerischen Husch, der schmeckt, mit wem sie haben dort zu tun. So they're very intuitive, these people.
Oh yeah.
So they see through the window. They live on their wish. That's what they live on. They saw through the window an old woman with a silk tichel scarf on her head. She's sitting all alone and she's making a sock. They knew with their gypsy scent, they immediately smelled out with whom they were dealing. Komm machen Sie, Mutter. Komm machen Sie. Öffnen uns auf dein Tierle. Teierinker, wollen wir dir treffen auf Kurten. So come on, they said to her, you little mamala.
Yeah.
Open up the door, Teierinker, sweet one. And we are going to read the cards for you. Wir sehen, als du bängst wie a Teubicher noch emetzen. We see that you are longing like a Teubicher. Toib is to be blind, yeah? Like a
deaf,
blind
deaf.
one.
Toib is
A deaf
deaf.
one, good. A deaf.
A toib, I think, is a dove.
Oh, like a pigeon, like a dove. That's right. That's what it means.
Yeah.
That's right. That's the meaning here. You're longing like a dove for somebody. Efter noch deine Kinderlech. Wir wissen, als dir steht vor a weiter Weg. Maybe what you're longing for is your children. And we know that you have in front of you steht vor. Ahead of you is a long journey. Now I have to ask you linguistic people something. So you see this here. Steht vor. So the prefix is pulled out. Vorstehen. So it is here because of the tense, or is it because of the why is this steht vor?
Steht vor, it's like
It stands in front of you.
It's
coming.
It's coming.
Mhm.
It's the present tense.
It's the present tense. So the prefix
Yeah, but
is placed after.
Yeah, but it's talking about a future event.
Mhm.
State for is
Coming in front of
state
you.
for means it's awaiting. A long road is awaiting you. It's there.
Yeah.
It's awaiting you. So it's present, but it's
Der
awaiting you
Held.
it's awaiting you for the future.
Well, der Held, was ihr steht vor, hat sich later gleich genommen tummeln. When she heard that something was awaiting her, Zlata immediately began to get a little agitated, a little excited. Oi, a langer Weg is das nur a Weg in America. If it's a long way, maybe this is the path to America. Heißt das, als die Geweidike, the proud, and Kinder ihrer, was haben bis jetzt nicht gewollt, herabringen zu sich als narrische alte Mama wie sie ist, können sich nur herumsehen. It could be as her proud children, who until now have not been willing to bring their foolish old mother to them, that now they couldn't they couldn't stand it anymore. They weren't going to allow this to go on anymore. They changed their minds. Kinder bleiben Kinder.
Okay.
The children remain children. They're still going to be good children to her. Sie wollen nicht der lassen die alte Mama in der Heim soll chas v'sholem starben einer allein über ihre vor dem Nezoken. They are not going to allow their old mother in the old mama in the house die alone over her now is it her string stockings? For them is a string. It's a thread. Her threads, her threaded stockings, her stockings, her threaded stockings. Es hat sich ihr Meuredig vergloss zu äußeren als ein Nevoa von die zigeunische Meiler. Or is it Meiler? Meiler. It completely, it terribly tempted her to hear such a prophecy from the mouths of the gypsy, from the gypsy mouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Regarding the word, sorry.
Yeah, no, please.
Regarding the word gaivedike, you said proud. Instead of proud, I would say haughty in English.
Okay, that's better actually.
Yeah,
that's
right.
It's
because
stronger.
it's not it's not proud. It's in a negative way. You know, gaive. So
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Haughty.
Haughty. They were haughty with her. They were very cruel to her. Remember, they told her to stop sending the stockings. We don't want the stockings anymore. Podrobne mit alle pichevkes, with detailed, with all the small little bits. She wanted to hear all the little bits of it. Die schwarze, lachendicke Ponemer mit der scharfen Zähne in die dunkle Meile haben ihr aufgeschimmelt wie abgemoltene Melochen in weiberschen Teitschrumisch. This is her association. The black laughing faces with the sharp teeth in the dark mouths had made her aware or were reminded her, were drawn like the angels in the women's Teitschrumisch. So these are the illustrations that she has seen, and she associates it with these women. Mit zitterndicke Hand, mit zitterdicke Hand, hat sie aufgeringelt de Tier war die zwei Zigeunergirls. Mechabit gewein sie mit gebackte Äpfel von Skoveder. Well, she's done this before. It's the same thing that she did with Mosheke. So with shaking hands, she undid the door for the two gypsies and welcomed them with baked apples from her skillet, from her fry pan. Und 5 Kopekes Mezumen aufgegeben sie, and immediately gave them the 5 Kopekes that they demand to start their reading. Haben ihr die 2 Melochetes getroffen auf Korten und auf den Hand, als in Gichen wird sie bekommen a Brief mit Geld. So they began to these angels.
Angels. Malach.
Angels. Well, that's the illustration.
Malachtes, malach.
Malachtes. They began to read from the cards and from her hand, and very quickly, and told her as very quickly she would be getting a letter with money. Von ergens weit, weit. She would be getting a letter with money from someplace very far away. They wissen nicht wo, nur etwas sehr, sehr weit. They don't know exactly where, but someplace very, very far away. Dennoch wird sie fahren und fahren. Afterwards, she's going to travel and travel. Sie sehen nicht wohin, aber sehr lang wird sie fahren. They don't know exactly where, but she's going to travel a very far way. Dennoch sehen sie Freude und Tränen. Afterwards, they see happiness and tears. Tränen, Freude. Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful reunion. Men pusht sich und men halloibet sich, where they're kissing and they're making merry, making very
okay. Halubet, I thought that it's from Liube, they are like caressing. It's from the word love. Like
maybe.
Yeah,
I thought it was
Lubov is a lover in Polish. I know it from my neighbors in Tel Aviv. Lubovnik, yeah.
So they'll be kissing and caressing.
And caressing and kissing and hugging.
And hugging,
Embracing.
very happy.
Yeah.
In 5 Minuten herum, wenn Zlate ist Schikora von Glück, wieder geblieben, sitzen einer allein auf ihr Ort bei einem offenen Fenster. And 5 minutes later, when Zlata is sitting like a drunk one, so intoxicated with happiness, and she's again, wieder, she's alone, sitting alone in her space by the open window, hat sie aufgehoben ihr gegolten Kopf mit der verscharrten seidenen Tichel. She lifted her shaved head with the Farshatten, I think we share the same word with the wife of the big eyes, with the flowered silk scarf. Aufgeöffnet die fette Speltelech von die verweinte Augen und der Sehen. She opened her eyes. This is the her fat. Is it fat? Her eyes, the loopholes, the eyes of her teary eyes, and she sees Ernst als erstens als die Skovede mit die frisch gebackte Äpfel, von welcher sie hat orkisch mechabit gewähnt, die Zigeinkes, is verschwunden. She sees that the skillet, which with the fresh baked apples, which she just now orkished, she honored the Zihaknes, again, that word, has disappeared. Zweitens, das Beitele mit die poor Gilden, von welcher sie hat orkuscht, herausgenommen die 5 Kopekes, is euch nicht du. And secondly, the little purse with a few coins from which she just now recently gave them their 5 Kopekes is also not there. Drittens, fällen ihr die 4 Spislen mit der ungeheubener vor dem Sock mit dem ganzen Knechel vor dem. And the third thing, what's missing are her needles, with the beginning, the start of another string sock with a whole ball of thread. Wie in der Erde ist das als rein. Where did this disappear to?
As if. It's not
where? Wie in der Erde
yeah.
ist das als
He's a
rein.
Litvak. Yeah.
Wie in der Erde.
As if, yeah.
As if, wie in, as if. Men, mehr wie als, hat's Latin verdrossen auf die 4 Spislen. More than anything, she was upset, disappointed about the 4 needles. Mele de poor Gilden, a shena reina kapora. Okay, the few coins, a shena reina kapora, like a small sacrifice, a small loss.
Yeah, but let them go to hell. Something like that.
Shena reina kapora.
Yeah.
There's a specific meaning.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. It
Okay.
should more, yeah. Going to hell is also.
Shena reina kapora.
Yeah, as hell in translated into Hebrew, you could say it's Azazel.
Yeah.
Right, Yankev? And Azazel, it's where you send the kapor. Oh, let it go to hell. That thing.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Shena reina kapora.
Yeah.
But it's a okay. A skorde hat sie euch ein andere, a bessere. The skillet, she has another one, even a better one. Zokin wird sie noch milstishem, stricken und stricken, a bigelept. Socks, she's going to knit again, God willing, as long as she lives. Aber de Spieslin, a meise obtonil. But the needles, what kind of a story to do to her? What kind of a nastiness to do to her? Zu live was for a Schwarzjol darf at sie haken. You see the word over and again, Spieslin. For what? For a Schwarzjol. For now, what does that idiom mean? For a Schwarzjol. Why does a gypsy woman need needles? But
It's also
why?
zu livos schwarz, why the hell also? What for?
Why the hell?
Why the hell do why the hell does a gypsy woman?
What does she need that for?
Yeah.
Wenn hat das at sie haknet Zeit zu arbeiten mit Spieseln? When does a gypsy woman have the time to work with needles? Als Tag und Nacht läuft das herum, verschmeit über die Häuser. They, day and night, they are running around the houses, and they're just bustling around the houses. Verschmeit, they're just bustling around the houses. Pashut nicht gekonnt einhalten sich. She just couldn't hold herself in,
Back.
Say again, she couldn't hold herself
Hold
back.
herself back. Yeah.
She couldn't hold herself back, or they couldn't hold themselves back.
The Zigeuners, they saw
They couldn't hold themselves back. They just grabbed whatever they could grab.
exactly, yeah.
Gelegen unter der Hand darf man das bei ein alter Jiden weglatrenen. So it laid under the hand. So they have to take this from an old Jewish woman. Weglatrenen. I don't know that word. Took it
Steal.
away. They had to take it away. To steal it. They had to steal it. Und jetzt muss sie's latte gehen in Mark und einhandeln andere Spieseln. And now she's latte has to go to the market and start dealing around for other needles. Leut ihr Gust und leut ihr Gewohnheit. And now she has to go into the market and look for new needles according to her taste and according to her habits, I guess it is, gewohnt. Und bis neue Spieseln glätten sich aus und arbeiten sich ein, gehen weg schöne etliche Tage. And until she's going to get used to these new needles and be able to work with them, she's going to lose several good days. A mirs Volk, die sie hacknes, auf a jiddischen Schwell, tolmen sie nicht auflosen. So it's a very, very ugly people, these gypsies. We shouldn't let them pass over a Jewish, what is that called? A threshold. But now, after that, they're going to meet up with a little bit of resistance.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll just read one more paragraph and then, okay. An Abschnitt haben die Zigeunerkels gehabt bei Herschel dem Melamed. A not so good thing, a rebuff, a putback, a setback they had by Herschel the Melamed.
An interruption, an
Abschnitt, a cutting off, Sie haben schon Sippen, sein Weib, gehalten bei der Melker Hand und ungeheuben Schitten mit süße Wörter. They already had with Sippe, his wife, they were holding her with their Melker Hand. What is Melker?
It's a flower.
Oh, with her flowered hand.
Yeah.
And began to throw on her sweet words. Mutter Gutinker, Ollerscher Eugen, little good mother, eagle eyes. I don't know why they've used this word Odler as though
I don't know either, but I don't know. Maybe
because it's a compliment. Odlische Eugen.
Maybe.
Äppele Süßinkel, you sweet little apple. Und Zippin hat sich stark gewollt wissen, sie ihr Mischugge geworene Edelmann. So
Edemel. Edemel.
Edemel. And what did she want to know? Sippa wanted to know, very much wanted to know whether her crazy, the one who became crazy, her son-in-law, Zuska, der Schochetel. Oh, he came to such a bad end.
You thought we left him alone. No.
Yeah, we thought we left him alone, but see, he's being brought back now.
Yeah.
Wenn mir hat a weggefielt a gebundenem kein mon liev in Gubelsken Spital. This was the same hospital that we met in the beginning, where he was led to, where he was bound. He was taken to the city, the capital, Molhiev. Is that how you say it? Molhiev.
Molev, maybe.
Well, Molev, it's the city that wasn't too far from Shklov. In the government hospital, wird sich ausheilen, whether he'll heal, und sie dobe ihr Tochter, welche is euch a Kappele geriert, sind der Meise mit nehmen ihr Mann Raptun vet, and whether Dubba, remember the daughter, who is, now this is, I had trouble understanding exactly what this is here.
Okay, geriert is, rieren is to touch.
Is to move.
I mean, she also became disturbed. She is also a little touched.
She was also a little touched
with craziness.
Affected.
She was also affected from the Misa when her man was taken for the, remember he was going to be, immediately it was going to be a very dramatic change. Vet. So the rest of that sentence after the three dots would be that Helen also, that she would
but
also,
probably, yeah.
that she would also, whether she was going to heal up also.
Yeah, right.
All right, so she has her, just like Lotte had her questions, she has her questions. Yankov.
Okay. Nor do hat Hirschel der Melamed der Herd mit was die Jente seine.
Now there's a put down.
Oh, and there's more coming, and then you gave it to Yankov,
Ja.
Okay, go ahead.
Die Jente seine vernimmt sich in Kochstub, inmitten Montig und inmitten Backenbräut. Okay, let's stop over there.
Okay.
So now, but Herschel the Melamed overheard what his Yenta.
But Yenta is a name, really.
Yeah, but
It is a name, but it's
I know,
negative.
yeah.
Used negatively as his. There's no translation for the word Yenta.
No, sorry, I must say something. There was a woman here in the village where I live in Florida, and she called herself Janet in English, but she told me that in Yiddish her name is Yente, and her father called her Yentele. So if I was not to tell anybody, I wasn't.
I think I once read something in the four of us about that it had to do, the name comes, I think, from the word like genteel. It didn't always have that negative aspect to it.
Yes.
It was genteel, but somehow it got transformed into this yenta with the negative idea of somebody who talks too much.
That's right. And it even
the negative connotation comes from Yenta Talabenda.
Yeah.
yeah.
What does that? I would me and my mother say that. What does that mean? Yenta Talabenda.
She was a character in one of the vaudeville stories on the stage, and her name was Yenta Talabenta.
Oh,
right.
wow, that
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And
Bravo.
And unashamedly so, the word yente penetrated the American English language. In America, they use yente in English, like, you know, the goyim say yente. She's a yente.
A busybody.
Huh?
A busybody. A kochleffel, someone who's
Mishes in.
Business, yeah.
But Yenta Talabenda, that is great. I didn't know that. I would hear that. I didn't know what it meant. Thank you. An illuminating moment. A Shena Reina Kapora.
Okay, so his Yenta was what she was doing or busying herself with in the kitchen. In the middle of a Monday morning, in the middle of baking bread, is ausgelaufen veel von Beugen. Von sein Cheder und mit die Lokschen in Hand zerfocht sich auf die Trefferkes. So he heard what was going on in the kitchen, what they were saying to her and what was going on, and like an arrow out of a bow, he ran out of the cheder with the lokshen in his hand, with the baich, the whip in his hand, and he was waving the whip at the fortune tellers. Arois, und von Otsior Dova. Oh, that must be Russian. Get out. I don't know what it means, but you make yourself scarce. Get out of the house. Und auf sein Zippen hat euch angeschrien. And he shouted also, he yelled also at his wife Zippa. Schon gar so this is what it's come to. Bishop, willst du da bei mir verführen in Stub? You want to make magic here in my house?
Yeah. Can I say something? Here you see how he treats his wife. First of all, it was the Yente sein, it's already put down here. And then it says, was die Yente seine vernennt sich in Kochstub, in mitten Montag. He sees in the middle of Monday, which is, she's supposed to perform work for him. And look what she is getting herself busy with. It's as if she's violating the rules of her service to him. This is what I feel as a woman. That's what you're doing. You Yente meine. You instead of cooking, you're playing. That's one thing. And then you said Kishuf is magic.
Yeah.
I would say it's instead of magic, it's
where is it, first of all?
The last line.
No.
The last
Kishuf.
line.
Okay,
It's
like
his shuf is the work of it's witchery.
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft, yeah, that's what, thank you, yeah.
It's stronger
Witchcraft,
than magic.
that's what
It's
it means.
stronger than magic.
Yeah,
It's,
magic can be something good, but this is witchcraft and witchcraft. And the Torah, if you allow me, the Torah instructed us not to use witchcraft, not to go to them, you know. So the Torah forbids us to go to fortune tellers and such.
Yeah.
So this is the anger also. The anger is that first she stopped working for him. She stopped, you know, her regular role, and then that she's really violating a Torah instruction. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. So, and in addition to that,
Yeah.
there's another put down that Tzippa, his wife, is prepared to engage with the gypsies in fortune telling, but the husband, Herschel, comes in and he wants to throw them out. He's not prepared to engage
Thank
with.
you.
With
Thank you.
the
Yeah.
So
well,
there's
I don't understand.
the feminine way in this, as it's presented in this book, is that the women are prepared to go along with the fortune tellers. The men cut them off and throw them out.
That is true. However, the men are not shown in such a positive light either, because they allow themselves to be fooled by the gypsy horse riders, you know, to exchange. So the men are, but the women is terrible, you know, and this is not the first time that Schnell is doing that.
Yeah.
Well, right. And also he comes in with the lakshan in his hand. You know, he doesn't just come into the room and say, please leave the house. I don't want you in my house. He comes in bearing a kind of weapon, you know, and he's waving it. He
Oh yeah. That's what he beats up the Cheder children with.
Right.
My God.
He's
okay. Okay, Yankel.
Okay. Der Zen aza kochedik jidlik mit der Rezua in Hand, seinen die Zahankes entlaufen. So when the gypsies saw this enraged, wretched Jew, a yidlik, very putting down.
A yidlik. What is that, yidlik?
A wretched Jew.
It's also a put down.
It's a put down, a very severe put down, yes. With this leather thing in his hand, so they ran. The gypsies ran out of the house. Sie haben Mashmoes gemeint, als sie Spezialista sah, auf zu schmeißen Weiber. So they probably imagined that this was some sort of specialist who, a person who specializes in beating women. Another put down.
Yeah.
Okay. Umgekehrt sich zu ihr Loppete und zu ihre Bräuten, hat sich Tzippa a verschämte und a verschwitzte gehabt, als a größer Laben Bräut ockest von Euven herausgenommen, fällt ihr. So as Tzippa turned around with the spatula in her hand, she was embarrassed and sweating. She noticed that a large loaf of bread, which had recently been taken out of the oven, was missing. Gesucht und genistert in alle winkelig und nito. She looked, she searched, and she rummaged in all the corners of the kitchen, and it was gone. Wie in Wasser rein, as though it was thrown into the water, disappeared. Nor sie hat gemacht, das Schweig, Hirschel, ihr strenger Mann, soll sich davon nicht wissen. But she remained silent, so beautifully expressed, gemacht das Schweig. She made a silence, kept quiet. That so that Herschel, her strict husband, should not know about it, should not get wind of it. Von Hennig, dem Farber, haben die Trefferkes euch nicht geleckt kein Honig. So Hennig, the painter, with him, the fortune tellers also didn't make any headway. They didn't literally lick any honey. They didn't make headway. Rein in dem Heuschig von der verlattete Kurve und der sehen die finstere Kratzmaschines mit dem finsteren Iden beim Tehillim sagen, haben sie gleich verstanden, als da ist nicht der richtige Ort zu werfen Korten. So when they went into the darkness of this patched ruin, and they noticed in the darkness the machine for scratching
For the yarn.
The yarn. And they saw this in the darkness. They saw this Jew saying psalms. They understood immediately that this wasn't the right place to tell fortunes. Der Bodje in modnem Haus scheint zu sein a größere Kischefmacher wie sie. So this word Borgia at the bottom of the page is auf Zigeinerisch der Fremder. Das wird gebraucht mit Verachtung zu a Nicht-Zigeiner. So the word in Gypsy language, Bodja is a stranger, and it's a word which is used with disdain about non-gypsies. So they saw this strange man in the house who appeared to be a greater, what did we say here? A greater a person who worked with witchcraft than they themselves. Und anstatt zuzustehen mit friedlicher Chutzpe, wie sehr Steiger ist, haben sie Stillerheit mit blonschendicke Augen genommen Bettenchalle. So instead of continuing with this fortune telling with happy arrogance,
Arrogance, yeah.
they, which is the way that they operate, they very quietly, with their wondering eyes, began to ask for challah, for food. Und zu sehr gleich zugesprungen Niske, hinter dem Farbes Ingel, a Mazika Jung, and immediately Niska jumped in, Henrich's, the painter's assistant jumped in, and it was a Mazika Jung, a young devil.
A devilish
Young man.
boy.
Ja. Was? Challe willen zij? Gut. Wird drehen naar rod und zij willen reinstecken naar hand, wird werden challe. So what they're looking for challe, for kitka. Good. Let them, he'll turn the wheel and they can stick their hand in and there'll be challah.
You use the South African term for challah.
Yeah.
Kitke, yeah. Kitke, that's what South Africans called it.
Yeah.
What does that come from? Speaking of
I read
braided
in the forwards that kitka comes from like putty, which is kneaded, and it's a braided bread. There are various different names for challah. There's koilich. Some dialects use the word koilich.
Koilich, yeah.
Some use challah, some use kitka.
Kitka, yeah.
Okay. Gesucht und getan. So what was said was done. An alte Kratzmaschine hat genommen Quitschen mit ihrer schlecht gebäumelte Räder. An old carding machine began to squeak with its badly greased wheels. Haben die Zigeunerkes reingeguckt mit die großen Augen und die zähnlich in die zähnliche Walzen und die breite Passen mit die gedichte krumme Nadeln, wie als läuft dorten und barscht sich und finkelt seinen sei geblieben teut mit die Beiner. So the gypsies looked with big eyes at the teeth of the rollers and in the broad lines of the thick crooked needles as they ran through and brushed the threads and they were shining, and they stopped in their tracks. They were terrified of what was going on. Devel, and there at the bottom we read that Devel means God. Hat die Ältere ausgeschrien. Und beide haben genommen Stellen fies. So the older gypsy screamed out, God, and both of them, they ran away. Haben Stellen fies.
I love that. Gestellen feet.
Yeah.
Put feet. made
Yeah.
feet, made tracks, made tracks.
Tracks, ja. Niske Mazik hat zij aber niet opgelossen. So Niske, the devilish young man, didn't let them get away with it. He didn't leave them alone. Hat sich gejuckt noch zij und geknackt mit sein scharfe Zung. Leut sein Steiger. Ausbegleit zij wie mit hilchige Pistolschossen. So he didn't let them alone. He chased after them and he clicked with his sharp tongue the way he used to do. And he accompanied them out with the loud pistol shot noises that he made with his tongue. Von der Churve, und zerlacht sich dribne und teivelish hilchig. So he chased after them, clicking with his tongue, and he chased them out of the ruin and laughed